In this episode, I want to help you avoid the deadly mistake that even the biggest and most successful businesses tend to make. It's a common trap that many business leaders fall into. Want to know the trap you must avoid? Let's get into it.
Welcome to Why Business Teams Fail and How to Avoid It, a show helping small business owners build a radically engaged team that can run the business without you so you can remove the stress from owning a business and enjoy the freedom you deserve. Now, here's your host, Rich Allen.
Today you'll learn that while it's not uncommon for people to be critical of others, it's not something you should tolerate in your business. That you have at least 6 constituent groups that must be strong advocates for your business success, and that it's your responsibility to make sure everyone who's an advocate for your business is supportive, cooperative, and civil to one another. Here's my question for you this week. Do you allow friendly fire between those who are advocates of your business? This week, I want to introduce a concept that will get you thinking differently about how you and your team act and behave in your business. Are you familiar with the idea of friendly fire? It's a common term used in the military and probably among many hunters or outdoorsmen. It's the idea that under no circumstance do you put yourself or allow someone else around you to get into a situation where they can or will shoot at someone or something that's not your target. It's a critical concept when you're part of an army unit that's advancing on an enemy position. It's why keeping the integrity of the line is so important when troops are moving forward through difficult terrain. One of the worst things that could happen is for someone to inadvertently or mistakenly discharge their weapon and hit someone on our side, whether it's someone in our unit or someone who's fighting beside us, helping us overtake a common enemy. Hopefully you get the point, and I don't want to make this about guns and shooting, but I do think it's a concept that happens far too often in business today. Far too many times I've noticed individuals who work for a business, and sometimes even the business owner, violating the no friendly fire rule. Let me frame it up by first giving you some idea of who I consider to be friendlies to a business. I would include in this group of friendlies anyone who supports or has a stake in the success of a business. This is why I use the word advocate or stakeholder. Advocates and stakeholders are friendlies in the business sense. So who are the advocates or stakeholders for your business? I think there are 6 primary constituent groups. The most obvious stakeholder is your customer. They're the individuals or companies who pay a fee to buy your product or use your service. Another stakeholder is your team. Those who work for you and get paid for serving your customers are certainly stakeholders in that their success is directly linked to the success of your business. A third stakeholder is your vendor or supplier. Anyone who provides you a product or service so you can turn that around and serve your customers is a stakeholder in your business success. The more business you do with your customers, the more business they will do with you. A fourth stakeholder is your family and the families of your team members. While they may not directly work in the business, they're directly tied to the success you have with the business. A fifth stakeholder is the shareholder who is invested in your business. This may be a bank if money was borrowed to fund the business, or individuals who bought stock or lent money to make the business viable. Their financial success is dependent upon the success of your business. Therefore, they're certainly a stakeholder in your business. And lastly, a sixth stakeholder is the community in which your business operates. Because your business has a presence in the community and is involved in making your community a better place to live and work, they're stakeholders in your success. There may be other groups, but for this discussion, let's focus on the 6 that we've discussed here: your customers, your team, your suppliers, your families, your shareholders, and your community. These 6 advocate or stakeholder groups are all connected in that they all have a stake in the outcome of your business. If your business is hugely successful, they will reap the rewards. If your business fails, they will suffer the consequences. These are not independent groups. They all have one thing in common: their interest and focus on your business. A good way to visualize this is to draw a 6-pointed star and label each star point as one of these 6 stakeholder groups. These 6 connected groups are all working together and linked to the success of your business. Now, imagine you or one of your team members steps into the middle of the star diagram, surrounded by the 6 stakeholder groups. The concept of friendly fire is the person inside the circle should never speak badly of, talk down to, make fun of, demean, disregard, ignore, be hateful to, or undermine anyone who's identified as a stakeholder. Think about that for a minute. Let it sink in. How many times have you heard someone talk bad about one of their customers? It may be because they're slow to pay, or they're difficult to communicate with, or they're just high maintenance. I often overhear team members talking negatively about their customers, sharing their frustrations or demeaning their questions or concerns. It's not uncommon for team members to speak poorly about difficult customers to one another, rather than raising their concerns directly with their manager or the business owner. This is not okay. Have you ever heard someone speak poorly of a supplier or subcontractor, suggesting they never show up on time or do shoddy work or can't be trusted? What makes this appropriate in any situation? If they do have performance problems, then the right thing to do is pull them aside privately and let them know where they're falling short. Never talk bad about them to others or degrade their work in a group setting. Are you okay with one of your team members talking smack about another team member? Probably not. But it happens all the time because someone is allowing it to happen. But we shouldn't. It's the classic definition of friendly fire. They're a team member. They're not the enemy. The enemy is our competition. We should be focusing our efforts and our energy on defeating them, not our own teammate. I could go through each of the stakeholder groups and ask similar questions, and I'm confident that I would get a similar response. It's not okay. So why then do we allow this kind of friendly fire to happen regularly in and around our businesses? Is it happening and we as business owners just don't know it? Somehow, I doubt that's the case. But if we do know about it, or if we do engage in it ourselves, why don't we put a stop to it? Let's face it, there are times when someone in our stakeholder group needs to get some direct, well-deserved constructive feedback. But when that time comes, it needs to be handled professionally, privately, and personally. It should never happen in front of others. And to be clear, if we're going to praise or congratulate someone in our stakeholder group, that should be done in public, in the presence of others, so everyone can congratulate them and celebrate the win. So my challenge to you this week is to be especially tuned in and aware of the conversations happening in and around your business this week. Be mindful and watchful for anything that resembles friendly fire and step in to stop it in its tracks. Don't wait to deal with it later. Intervene. Call a ceasefire, disperse the crowd, then deal with the person who's pulling the trigger, the one who's talking negatively about someone who's in your stakeholder group. We've got to stop the friendly fire. It's getting out of hand, and thanks to social media, it seems to be spreading like wildfire. Only the direct and determined actions of business owners like you who make the decision to no longer tolerate it will it turn the tide. I can promise you that once you make the idea of no friendly fire a non-negotiable in your business, everyone in your stakeholder groups will feel safer, more respected, and more appreciated. And as a result, they'll step up and work harder for your success. If we're going to win the war against our toughest competition, we've got to stop causing casualties among our own stakeholders. Don't underestimate the power you have as a business owner to have a positive influence in this area. As we wrap up today's podcast, let me leave you with these simple thoughts. Number one, it's not uncommon for individuals to be critical of one another and share their criticisms with a close companion or coworker, but you must not allow it in your business. Number two, as the business owner, it is important that you set the tone and the expectation that all efforts should be focused on beating your real enemy, your toughest competition. And number three, don't underestimate the influence you have on how your stakeholders treat one another. And if they don't behave properly, you must step in and put an end to any friendly fire. If you'd like some additional support in this area or want to tap into our free resources, simply go to my website, tourtoprofit.com. You'll find everything you need there. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to tune in next week when we're going to discuss 6 leadership lessons every business owner can learn from Charlie Kirk's legacy. You won't want to miss it. Now, go make it a great week, and whatever you do, ride hard.
Thank you for listening to Why Business Teams Fail and How to Avoid It. Make sure to like, subscribe, and tell your friends so you don't ever miss an episode. Now go make it a great week, and whatever you do, ride hard.